council.
I looked at this.
4 o'clock and we are all set to go.
Okay.
We're on board. Okay.
I was surprised how big it is.
So we're calling the meeting to order. We're online. Thank you all. We're delighted to be back. It's still August, right? Yes, August. So happy fall almost. I'd like to ask for the roll call. Let's start with Heidi, please.
Heidi Rieger.
Will Radebush here.
John Sampen.
Jeff House here.
Ryan Rothenbuehler.
Thank you. And approval of minutes from way back in May 27th. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. Are there any changes, additions?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
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 Nobody opposes. Great. Okay. Election of officers. We're doing that today. Is that right, Heather?
Yes.
It's
Usually we do it every June.
we're a little bit late with that particular item, so I guess we'll start with the chair. Do we have any nominations?
I'd like to nominate John Sampen.
Second.
Do we have any other nominations? Okay, I'll agree for one more year, okay? Do we need to vote? I guess we need to vote, yes. So all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. Vice chair nominations.
Who is it currently? Is it Will?
Will.
Okay.
I'd like to
I-
nominate Heidi.
No, I nominate Will.
I'll second.
For who?
Will or Heidi?
Oh, you nominated
I'm nominating Will.
Will.
Cross nominations.
Cross nominate.
Did somebody else nominate Heidi?
I did.
Will did.
Oh, okay, then I don't know what, we have two people.
Do you want to do it again? Because I don't really want to take that on right now. So I'm going to be secretary of the different board. So,
I could.
I mean, I don't know what it involves.
I could take it on for the year. But
What does it involve?
just backing up John.
It's mainly
Getting ready when he's
being chair when the chair can't be here.
Okay. I don't know.
So, do you want to stand as a nominee or do you want to withdraw your name?
I don't want to make you guys vote for one or the other. Do we have a runoff? No, I don't care.
Will, you nominated Heidi.
nominate Heidi.
Yeah, I'd rather not withdraw my name right now.
You're withdrawing your name? Okay.
Is that okay? Can you do it another year?
Yes.
I second Will Raudebush.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, no one is opposed.
Thanks, Heidi.
And secretary. I'll nominate Jeff.
I'll help you out.
Just kidding.
Second.
Second. I mean,
Third. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. So we're the same officers for one more
One
year.
more year.
I guess we can do it, right? Okay, item number 4. Next meeting, September 23rd. Does that look okay for everyone,
I think so.
4
at
p.m.
least for now? Okay. Chairperson report. Okay, I just had a couple items. First of all, we had great news today Heather and from the Best Downtown Placemaking organization. I guess it was that's the title of the award that we're being considered for. We're one of 3 that are in the finals for this, which is a big deal for our wonderful signs that we erected last year. I certainly am proud of that. I think we all are. Jan, we had a nice message from you congratulating us. Jan was on the committee as well and suggesting that, and I think Heather did too, that hopefully some of us can be there for that ceremony, which is on October 15th.
Or 13th.
Is it the 13th?
15th, Wednesday, October 15th from 7 to 8:30 p.m.
7 to 8:30 p.m. I know Jan already said she'd like to be part of that.
I'm thinking of going to.
Rose Drain also sent me an email that she would like to drive back and forth if somebody wants to carpool with her. So not stay, but just go for the ceremony. So we can just think about it or let me know and we can try to arrange that. I will be at the whole conference because we get a free, with our membership, we get a free entry into the conference. So I'll be there the 14th through 16th.
Oh, good.
I'm thinking about going for the day. on
Yeah,
the
I
15th.
will try to go as well. It's a terrible time for me, but I'd like to be there. So maybe we don't need to commit right now totally, but it looks like we'll have maybe a good Bowling Green group that'll be there and cheering for our nomination, right? That's pretty exciting. So congratulations. I'm still very proud of that project and of our signs that are all over the city right now, and we'll hopefully have something more to cheer about soon. Anything else about that? It's a 3-day conference. Is that right, Heather?
Correct. I can pass out the, I have it somewhere here. I
looked very
printed out the
interesting.
schedule so you can review it if you'd like, and just see if anything may interest you. But at least you know that we'll have at least one person going.
It looked very interesting. I wish I could go for the whole time. Too, but
Okay, we'll take a look at that as it gets passed down. So that's great news. Thank you. I also want to, at least I know Heather has to leave early today. Especially thank Heather for watching the NAPC videos and posting them for our review. That was a big time commitment, and I'm planning to view them soon, or at least some of those. And thank you for the little comments about each one. You said they're an hour and a half.
Yes, and I do have a handout too where I printed each one if you want to read more closely about each session. And then I thought too, then we could attach it to the minutes. But I definitely recommended doing the best practices for meeting procedures, COAs, and staff reports. I thought that was probably most beneficial being a newer commission. And also they come with all the slides. So I could forward you the slides too if you'd rather just kind of flip through the slides. That would be quicker than probably your hour and a half of watching it.
That'd be great. Okay, we'll move on the agenda unless there's anything else about that. But I think some great videos that we can all view in our spare time. Not that we have any spare time.
Do you mind if I give a quick report then? Why, or after your report? I should add that on the agenda, just some updates that I also have.
Yes.
Okay, so since we haven't met since May, in June I had basically an overview of National Preservation Month. So looking back to May, I wanted you to make sure, I want you to be aware of the participation and, for example, the views on the website of the self-guided walking tour. So I gave you a copy in front of you of Her History Lives Here, again in 2025, and then I gave you also 2024 and 2023. So for our third year here, we've had approximately 45 participants and approximately 540 total views of that website, which averages to 9 views per day. And so you can see it wasn't our, I guess, top year, but it was better than last year, the number of views we had. And then I gave you an overview of our local history pedal bike tours, which were May 17th and 18th, and some pictures of those. And then we also had the scavenger hunt, if you can remember back to May. And unfortunately, we did not have anybody turn in the scavenger hunt. So I guess it's just stuff to chew on for next time, and if we need to do anything different. But that was unfortunate, so that none were turned in, even though we had it digital and paper, and we had it at a couple different partners' offices. But anyway, just want to give you an overview on that. Also wanted to let you know that I got this book at the Wood County Museum called The Rise of Bowling Green. Anybody can borrow it. I think Heidi said she wouldn't mind borrowing it. Very short read, but I think it's interesting. And I had not heard of it before, but it's from 1996.
I own it. It's somewhere in my house.
Oh, okay, good. And then I want you to be aware of some of our partners' activities. So we have the Wood County Museum celebrating their 50 years of history, and they were featured in one of the local newspapers. So I thought you might want to review that article. And then Tintagony just celebrated their 150th birthday. So I thought it's interesting to look at other people's activities of what they have going on and what they have planned on. Also wanted to give you a copy of the Ohio tax credit projects that were awarded recently. I think it's really important to read through all these projects because I think again, Wood County, no one's applied for these tax credits yet. And we're still very ripe to hopefully have someone apply for these someday. But they're not only for big projects, they're also for very small projects. And again, I thought it was interesting to read through all the projects, all the different types of projects. And, just, again, get an idea. They're not just for Cincinnati and Toledo or Cleveland. They can be used in small communities. So I'll pass all this around too.
On the tax credits,
Yes.
I did want to come back to that in a little bit. Maybe Heidi can talk us through
Okay.
that process. I know she's been talking with Anissa Miller about that
Good.
possibility.
Well, and at the conference, Ohio Heritage, they're going to have the people that run the program there, and they're going to talk about small developments, I think, and concentrate on those. So I think it's really good to know that's for any size project. Also wanted to point out Legends and Lore Marker Grant Program. There's a grant for that. And I know I send you a lot of things, but I get these things, every so often, and I don't want to miss out on that. So I'm thinking I'll make kind of a generalized annual calendar of all these grants, because it just seems like before you know it, the next one's coming up, and then the next one, and the next one, and it's easy to lose track of them. So I thought maybe we can kind of have a general calendar of those. But I will hand out this Legend and Lore grant program for a plaque. And then also the Lincoln House Inn, Sean Reeves had sent me basically a advertisement they made for social media, and she's hoping we can help get the word out for their grand opening Halloween party at the Inn, which is October 25th from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m., 325 North Main Street. Must be 21 to attend, and you do have to get a ticket. But it sounds like a fun way to support their endeavor of remodeling that home into a community space and inn. And I'll pass that around.
I know
And-
several of us were there for the grand opening. You were there, Heather, I think, right?
No, I was out of
You-
town, unfortunately.
I know Jeff.
Yeah, I went.
And I came on a
And
different,
Martin was there.
Big
And
Martin,
Went to it too.
you weren't. Rose Drain.
Rose Drain. And it looks like a really great project, putting a lot of time and money into restoring that home on North Main Street. And there'll be a couple workshops that will be housed there, as well as there'll be a hotel. Not really a bed and breakfast, but just a place that could be used for housing guests as
Vrbo, Airbnb. Yeah.
as an inn. Yeah, so
They must be doing pretty good with getting the word out already, because I had no idea, but my bride came to me last night and wanted to know if we could go to this. And I didn't know what she was talking about. Now it's in front of me at the meeting, so that's pretty good.
right. Yeah, they advertised pretty well for this. Was there something else, Heather, you are on your report?
I think that's it for the most part, unless you have any questions about any of that.
It's a lot of material here. We will we'll study it. Thank you. Okay. So I do have one question for our commission. One of the residents in our North Maple Historic District, who lives across the street from me, was asking for clarification as far as painting the whole home. And I was trying to do some research on this a little bit. The color will be about the same as what it is now. And I don't see that there's any problem that they would need a COA for that.
No, we said any painting was not included.
Didn't we have something about if it's like bright yellow and if the house was,
No.
no, we
No,
don't
no
have a problem with
restriction.
any color.
Nope.
Okay. We're all in agreement on that. I think that's what our bylaws had said, or in our
FAQ. Too.
FAQs, right? Okay, good. So I can convey that to them.
Nope.
I am concerned about another home on the historic district at 219, 221 North Maple. That has been vacant for, I think, several years and could be in danger of it's not going to fall down, but we certainly, it's one of the historic buildings, even though I think was not one of the premier buildings in that site. And I don't know that we have any say as a HPC or any power to encourage some fixing up of that home.
Oh, the yellow house on the corner.
It's the kind of yellow house
Yeah, on
owned
the
by
corner of
Dave
Wallace and Maple.
Yeah, Dave Gherkin and his DCG Rentals.
What is the address again? You mentioned, I think,
219.
219.
219,
Paul.
221. It's got two numbers.
So there's no one in it presently, because it has been rented in the past.
It has been rented, but not for several years, I understand.
Oh.
His
Daughter lived
daughter
there.
lived there for a while.
Trim the tree in the front yard and maintains the front
Yeah.
grass.
And they are occasionally cutting the grass, but the structure itself does not look great, and I'm concerned about it. I'm just hoping that it doesn't deteriorate to the point where he wants to tear it down and put up some other other
Have
building
you
there.
communicated with them at all?
I don't know. Do you think that's appropriate?
Probably not. I mean, it's kind of their.
But maybe
owner's
we can just
prerogative.
be aware of that possible problem and be thinking about how we would handle that instance, or maybe something in the future.
Doesn't that fall more under like the city code of like maintaining your house?
We do have in our code that a building cannot be torn down without
Right, but we don't have
a
any proof.
COA.
Yeah, we don't have any indication.
I think
that's what they
there's some wording like
but we don't have any indication the owner wants to do that.
we don't need what?
We don't have any indication that the owner has plans for that in the future.
No,
Okay.
no, but there
so-
should be reasonable care of taking care of the property. I think that was wording to that effect. And I don't know, if you drive by there and just take a look, maybe we can revisit that, but just I'd be curious what you all might think about that.
So
That's
from
on,
a city perspective, we can have our, have the health department drive by too, see if there's any violations.
Yeah, I would think it would fall more under the city health department than us.
Yeah, that's on the corner of Wallace and Maple Street, North Maple. There's been a lot of talk about the 4 buildings squeezed into the Wallace and Grove corner. I don't know that we even need to discuss that, but I don't think there's anything that Heather's shaking her head. So okay, we won't go into that. Okay, thank you. I wanted to express my congratulations to the Wood County Museum for 50 years. They're celebrating their 50th year this year, and was thinking maybe we could send an official congratulations from our Historic Preservation Commission. Would that be
That
appropriate?
sounds nice.
Okay. I'll put something together for that. Okay. We talked about the Lincoln House Inn, and that's all I had in administrative items. So, local designations, buildings of interest. This is item number 5. Any update on the South Main School?
Not for me.
Okay, we're trying to, for the benefit of Debbie, we're trying to help save a old school on the south side of Bowling Green that's now vacant, and we're hoping someone will be willing to purchase it and restore that building in some way. So nothing on the school. The other possibilities we've talked about over the past few meetings: the old windmill, which is no longer a windmill, the Hannah House, and the Corner Grill and Clazel.
I said, as indicated in the minutes from May, that I would get in touch with the Hannah House owners about the designation. I have not done that yet, but I will make a note to
Okay.
do it.
Good. Ryan, I was actually, I mentioned this to Heather, thinking it might be time for us to meet with some of the officials from the Downtown Business Association and discuss what we might do to help perhaps those 2 buildings, but if there's anything else that we can do in support of our downtown.
I did get I saw that in the email. Still getting my feet wet in a little of this, and so I understand that I'm the downtown rep, and so yeah, I mean I know a couple of the people downtown that own various businesses and whatnot. I don't own my building. That's Mr. Marsh, but I'm just a rep for the downtown. But yeah, we'll continue to try to knock on doors and see what the downtowners seem to think and what they're looking for, I guess.
I know, Heather, you've had some contact with Haley Williams, and maybe Katie Thompson. Do they want our help in any way?
I think it's good to stay connected and keep conversations going on how you could support downtown for sure, and vice versa.
Maybe we could invite them to one of our meetings, or we could attend their downtown meetings. I'm concerned about, personally, because I think they're such a part of our fabric of downtown Bowling Green, the old Corner Grill and the Clazel. And I just don't know how. I know Corner Grill has been closed down for years, and there's not quite a way forward, knowing what to do with that building. And I don't know how the Claysdale is doing. Anybody have any?
I really don't either. Is,
No more knowledge than what I see from the street.
Okay. Nothing? Nothing. Okay.
It seems like the Corner Grill, if the owner hasn't opened it yet, it might be a stretch to ask for a historic designation. But I guess that's what we would be in the position to do.
We could
Well,
certainly-
not to necessarily ask for one, but to
Yeah.
sound him out or out. I'm not sure if it's the same person I met several years ago who owns it.
And the same maybe with the Claysdale, right? We could investigate that. Okay, well, I will continue to push those two sites, and we'll see if we can maybe talk with the owners.
And I'll have a couple of things to say when we get to the historic buildings of the month in response to your
Okay,
thoughts about downtown.
You wonder on the Corner Grill if there's any kind of grants available for fixing it up, since it is a moneymaker. I mean, that's
Well, the historic
Well, like
tax credits would fall under that because it's
tax
a,
credits possibly. It'd probably take substantial amount of money to fix it up.
and I know the big problem was it restrooms? They don't have any restrooms in the grill. There were some problems, or
Small one.
maybe it's a fire hazard. I'm not sure
Or,
what.
or accessibility.
You know.
I think it didn't have a fire. I mean, that was kind of what closed it, I think. Was the
Yeah. So that's a good idea. Okay, local designations, letter D.
Are we going to address historical plaques?
Did I miss one? Oh, historical plaques, sorry, thank you. Yes, okay. So,
You want me to say something?
yeah.
I looked at a lot of different historic buildings and houses, and I thought, well, I'll just try to compose what I saw into a tentative design. So I've given Jeff and John and Heidi copies.
thank you.
These are 8 inches by 8 inches. Because there was talk about the prices and the different sizes, and it seemed like I thought, well, I'm going to start with an 8 by 8, and that's what I drew up first. And these are not computer generated. It's like the old fashioned drawing. But these are 8-inch square. And a lot of them had like a 1/4-inch boundary around the border around the edge that's raised. A lot of them, they're stippled in like the main field to kind of give it some texture. The text I gave information to Heidi there about the actual style that I picked out, which is, I think, copper plate. Copper, I think, is one I always enjoyed. It's kind of old looking. And I put the font sizes on them so you can get an idea as to what I came up with was, kind of the thing that stands out the most was the date. Like for the houses and the buildings is when they're built, and then for the site, it was a circa. So it was like the date that site was historic. So I kind of give it the most significance. Then at the top line was second significance, was saying what it is historic house, building, or site. Then the city, the next, well, I guess the date, so someone could see the date that the commission actually, city council actually approved it to be recognized. And then I included the city, Bowling Green, and a lot of them had something, well, not a lot of them, but some of them had about their commissions. So I thought it'd be good to put down, so if somebody wanted to check into it more, they could see. So I put that down. And John had suggested possibly needing Ohio. I'm not sure, whether it would need it or not, but, so these are just tentative. I tried to make it so that there's continuity between the types of the house, building, and site, lettering style wise. And again, these are just 8-inch square, which I don't think you want something too big to take away from the actual house or building. One, I think Charleston or some of them actually had some really neat looking signs. They were more like living. In other words, they had paperwork in them stuff. But then you looked at some, they looked really good for maybe a few years, and some of them were really deteriorated. So I thought, okay, I'm not sure we want that because they did not look like the quality of our signs that the sign committee did, which I think are really good. So I thought this is just probably to go with the bronze, but that's just a tentative thought.
I think they look good. Would you suggest, like, where it says historic house, put like the name of the building? such as the
Some of them
Manville
did, but then
House,
some,
or-
not sure. It would be say like the lad's house on Buttonwood, and the prominent person was Harms, but I don't know that I'd call it the Harms house, because it was
Well, whoever built
halfway through its life. A lot of the ones I saw
built
online,
it.
they were named after the people that originated
right the,
the house,
the
like
person who built the house.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like the Lincoln House.
Yeah.
Lincoln House.
Or the Hankey House, those names have been
Manville
attached
House.
for
Yeah,
a
that's-
while. You could do it both ways, I think.
Yeah,
Have-
I think that's probably a good suggestion if we have a specific name for it. That's a
but
good idea.
It's basically agreed upon.
The other ones are kind of generic because so many people have lived there. And maybe one or two families were prominent, some doctor at a house, or whatever. That's a good idea if we can name it, to name it. And that would probably depend on what the homeowner wants to do too, or building owner. But this was just a tentative idea, and maybe enough to
I think it looks good.
Heather could get some prices on, But these would all be raised letter, just probably a 1/4 inch or whatever, the typical bronze casting, and then like it looked like just pochade in the background, like instead of being real smooth.
Yeah, they might have to simplify the font if those serifs are
Yep.
too hard to do.
Something that kind of
but
looks
similar.
old or historic, but yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, eventually it'll include buildings from the 50s, the 60s,
Yeah,
the
that's true.
70s. So
Well, then style change.
I really like
Be like-
the simplicity of it, directness. And as you said, the date is maybe the most interesting immediate piece.
Right.
Like,
I think what we need to know is if, each would be different, wouldn't they, automatically, because of potentially the date of the home. So we could, I guess, allow the homeowner to use a template and change a word if they wanted, or
I'm not sure how much though. There was one probably uniform from house to house.
Yeah.
I like the idea of if they have a dedicated name for the house or building,
right.
a Hankey building, the different. And then the site was just, I think it's recognizing things sort of like the corner grill. If you can't designate it as a building, maybe it's becomes a historic site.
Good. What company are we looking at now, Heather? Have we narrowed that at all?
No, because we want to get in our budget first. So we were just thinking of some general parameters, depending on how much we get in our budget. Like maybe it's first come, first serve, and then once the 50-50 match is gone, then you'd have to wait until the following year. So my goal is if we're okay with the general design, we'll probably end up putting out a request to several companies to give us prices. That's normally how it would work. I just wanted to get an idea for our budget that we're looking at around, X amount of dollars per plaque. So we could request that amount of money. So having a general design like this helps us
So
move to the
can,
next step once we hopefully get it in the budget for 2026.
so can we go with this for now, just to get a
Yeah,
estimate?
absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
And I included font sizes on Heidi so you get an idea.
Colors?
Or, yeah, Heather, keep,
It's okay. But
sorry,
I'm used to it. My twin
get
sister.
used to it with me.
My
That's what
twin
happens when you
sister.
good. Thank you. Thanks, Will. Okay, so now local designations. Jeff, do you, first I wanted, and this may have been talked about at the meeting that I missed the last May, but the First Presbyterian Church was investigating the possibility, along with tax credits. Is that out of the picture now?
That's out of the picture for the time
Okay,
being, at least for our purposes, because they aren't money-making outfit, and so
Okay.
they aren't eligible for the tax credits based on historic designation.
and you corresponded with Dana about that? Dana Nemeth, or was it someone
Do they
else?
want
I've
local
seen her,
designation?
I don't think I mentioned it to her. I've seen her a couple times since, but she didn't bring it up either, but I'll make a note to
Okay,
correspond.
Are they looking for funding or they just want historic designation?
They are mainly looking for funding. I think we could go ahead with a historic designation too, but I'll ask her about that, even if they aren't eligible for funding, because they want to do some restoration and renovation.
Well, Heritage Ohio might have grants that they can look into, but I don't know enough about that.
I'll take a look at that.
The other thing would be the possibility of an endowed fund,
You brought that up once before, yeah.
because that gives off interest. The principal can't be used because it's protected, but as that principal builds up, the amount that's given off by the foundation, it's usually around 3%. At one point, it was 5% at the university, but it's when interest went down, I think it's around 3% now. So if you have $100,000 in the endowment, then after it's been in, you get $3,000. So every year you get 3,000 off that original 100,000. So they could use it like if they designate it, specifically designate it to preservation or whatever. Because when you set them up with the foundation, you have the option of, there's a variety of different kinds, but you can designate it how it's used. So when I set the one up for Habitat for Humanity, we made it very generic. It's like to be used for the mission of Wood County Habitat for Humanity. So it was very generic. Versus if we could have said it's going to be specifically for houses in Signet. And then
Or
we
they
probably
could
wouldn't
say
give any donors, because when it's generic, and it's built up quite a bit since then. The original donor gave 100,000, and it's probably over a couple 100,000 now. So they get probably close to 10,000 a year coming off of that. So the money's doing the work.
Right, so the church could,
So that, I think
Look
that
into-
could be a good one for a church, especially when you have people that could put it in their wills or whatever.
right. Well, I'll talk to Dana about those things.
And she could get in touch with the the Bowling Green Community Foundation's umbrellaed under the Toledo Community Toledo Foundation.
Thanks.
okay. I wasn't sure about this, but I think maybe it's happened. The old hospital building, which was up for historic designation, was that passed last meeting? Has that gone through now?
That's been approved by the
I believe that's
City
approved.
Council, yes.
I think
Yes.
you, Heather, told me that it had been. So that's official, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. The Lincoln House, Sean Reeves mentioned to me, and maybe to some of the rest of us, that she would also like to discuss local designation. So we should keep that in mind and perhaps pursue that down the road. I don't know if they're ready to do it yet, but
Well, they'll get a start because they're going to be the Historic Building of the Month for October, and she told me that they'll be able to pull that together. She had basically the history that's necessary on the tour already, so they're all set for that. And as happened with the old hospital, 416 West Worcester, that became one of the bases of the application, was the historical information.
Yep, and it's being used for the historic tax credits for the federal and state applications as well. So they're getting submitted on Thursday.
Oh, okay, good. Great, good. That's good news.
Jan Knapp mentioned at one of our spring meetings her interest in considering a district, the South Main district. Is that still at least of interest to you, Jan?
Yeah, I just have no idea how to go about starting that. So Heidi, you seem to know about the designations, or is there anybody that can kind of guide me?
I mean, for
in the
local,
process? I'd be interested just in a local destination.
You're talking-
My home as well.
Your home for sure, and perhaps a section of South Main as a district, like the North Main, North Maple Street.
But I'd like to work with somebody who has been involved in that process, because I don't even know where to begin.
Why don't we talk after the meeting today? We can set up maybe a couple of us could meet with you, and we can
Well,
talk.
and maybe Sean at the same time, because she's doing hers and I can do mine.
Sure.
And then we'd at least get into the process and start to get
Okay.
some understanding. That'd be good.
Good. Were there any other buildings that we are under consideration for local designation?
Well, we've moved into the historic buildings of the month, so we're kind of mixing up both those categories.
Well,
But
I don't think with Jan, we weren't talking about the historic buildings of the
No.
month, right?
no,
No.
okay, but, well, in any case, okay.
That's all that I know about at the moment. So if anybody else has been approached by residents or businesses that would like to consider local designation, just keep track of that and let us know. Okay, so buildings of the month.
Oh, okay.
Now we're
I
ready.
didn't realize we weren't already there.
Jeff has been great at cranking out articles, and we all really appreciate that. The corner markets. I know there was an article in July. Was there one in May also, Jeff?
May was the house at the corner, the brick house at the corner of South Prospect and Clough.
Right.
So June, July, and August were 316 Buttonwood, then the North Grove carryout, Dirty Don's. And August was the former store at the corner of North Enterprise and Evers. And we'll continue that at some future point. I have a whole list of additional stores from
Excellent.
from friends of the commission and from the Barn Bums who were doing some research on that. I attended a meeting of the Barn Bums, which was very entertaining because those people have a lot of local knowledge.
I think there's been a lot of local interest in those stories. You done a really nice job on
Thanks.
researching those.
Yeah, so the next ones will be the library in September. That's already been submitted Lincoln House for October. And I heard from Becky Mancuso, the history professor. She's doing local history again this fall, and she offered to have her students do another
That's good.
historic house of the month. She suggested 304 South Church, which I think of as the Kepke house because the Kepkes lived there until
Nice.
recently. And so we talked about it being the house for January because she wants to make sure that it gets all done this semester. Apparently, it works well as a group project. I think if you have several students, you might get several reports. But they came up with a really good report on the Painted Lady last time.
And that would be another great house to cover.
Yeah.
I'm going to call it the Kepke House. I don't think it's got a name, but it's a beautiful home.
For November and December, I'm going to suggest in the spirit of what you suggested, John, that we concentrate on downtown. I've just started to look into Easy Street, that building, which is very interesting. Of course, I'm not sure exactly how old it is yet, but it's been a lot of different things. So I propose that one for November. And for December, maybe the Hankey Building. We've already covered the non-existent Opera House that stood next to it, which was also a Hankey building. But Hankey, which is Kaufman's or Beckett's, we could do for December, unless someone has another suggestion, perhaps from downtown.
I think those are good ones.
Okay, well, that gets us through January then.
Excellent.
You did on the grocery stores? You were doing the grocery stores
Yeah,
in groups?
Yeah, I did that for June, July, and August.
Okay. Those are good.
I had noted here two other, and I think these were buildings of the month. I'm not sure. I know Easy Street was recommended at one point, and that's great that we possibly can do that in November. A nomination from Craig Deffenbaugh on South Church. This is a home formerly owned by Agnes Young of Suter Frames.
Oh, that's
and
right,
I think
yeah.
maybe, Jeff, did you forward that to me?
I don't, maybe I did, I can't remember, but I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, it's that duplex right at the corner of the Clough and Church.
It was built as a high-end duple rental with stained glass windows, fireplace resembling those in the Milliken Hotel. So we should maybe get that on the list
Good,
for the
good.
future.
I'll put it on the list, yeah.
And then a nomination from Dawn McGahee, the GE House. We've talked about those, I think, a little bit in the past. At 117 Manville. This is the former officers of Dr. Conrad and Dr. Petit, and perhaps is the only GE, which I assume is General Electric, right? A GE house in Bowling Green, built as housing shortages were apparent here in Bowling Green after World War II. Maybe we can get that on the list as well.
Okay, I'll put it there.
I'll just pencil these in for January and February, and then we can
Good, good.
change them as
Did
needed.
anyone who proposed these also propose that they would write them?
I have to go back and reread.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Not just because I have my hands full. I like writing these, but I think it's great when the
Yeah.
owners or interested public contributes them.
Right. Okay. Other business. We're going to go to the public relations, which is number 7. But was there anything else before we do that?
Did you want me to talk about the tax credit
Exactly.
process?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I asked Heidi to give us the process and how this all works for getting tax credits for
Okay, I'll try to keep it brief. It's a very involved process and a lot of steps to it and a lot of man hours. So Anissa was able to hire a consultant in Chris Moen in her firm in Toledo to do the writing, because you have to describe the existing building as it is and then all of the changes that you're proposed to make. And then you have a pre-application meeting for them to like go over, look at your specific building, give you suggestions or raise some red flags. Like for instance, I drew up a new porch on the back, and she immediately red flagged it because it looked too historic. So it looked too fancy for the back, basically. So I simplified it. They just wanted they want anything new to be simple and to fade into the background. So any light fixtures, any flooring, kitchen cabinets, bathroom cabinets, all has to be streamlined. It can't look historical. Like you can't pretend that you're going back in time and bringing something back. If it's there, you can repair it. So the part of the process is to describe everything that you're going to do and show it in pictures with a photo key, so that the reviewers will not be able to come to every project and look at them in person. So they rely on the reviewer, the writer, to write up what is there and have very detailed pictures. For this building especially, there's a lot of brickwork that needs to be repaired, and so she wanted us to document what is there so that we will not get knocked down for not fixing something that is not pictured. So like if we choose, we do not have to repair every caulk joint that has been poorly done in the past. And if we don't, she just wants documentation that it is the way it was when we found it. So we're not, the current owner is not liable for something that a past owner has done poorly necessarily, or replaced or whatever. So it's a very detailed, heavy process, and then every house building is given a reviewer who spends at least 10 hours looking over every nook and cranny of the documents. They're very hard and fast on their deadlines, so you have to be in by 4 p.m. on the deadline date. And you're almost guaranteed. The state credits are competitive, so you are competing with the number of other buildings, and it changes every year. But the federal credits are, I think they're guaranteed basically for about, I'm going to get them wrong. One is 25%, one is 35%. And since
of the restoration.
of the cost that you spent on the restoration, and that cost includes architect's fees, consultant fees, contractor fees, even paying yourself as the owner for the amount of work the time that you spend on the buildings, such as filling out the application or.
Just so I understand, now, it's called federal tax credit,
Yes.
but it isn't just taking taxes off of your building. It's paying to help restore the building. Is that correct?
No, it's a tax credit.
Only a tax credit.
Right.
So if the tax,
Off your taxes.
it's only coming off the taxes.
Yes.
So there's not actual money that's being paid to that. I just need to
Correct.
get this
I
clear in my head.
believe so.
Yeah. Okay.
And I heard somewhere that you can sell your credits, but I'm not sure how that works. That was just in passing.
Okay.
So it's a great program if you can afford to pay for the consultants and that you're willing to preserve it as well as possible. So like for instance, flooring, they would prefer that you sand the floors and preserve the floors, but if that's too onerous or they're too far gone, such as in the hospital, there are a lot of holes and rot and glue, carpet glue stuck everywhere.
Yeah.
So you're allowed to use engineered wood or LVT, which is a luxury vinyl tile product, but it has to match the width and length of the existing planks. And then there's a lot of trim missing, so when you replace trim, it has to be the same height, but not the same style. You know, like how you can get a profile copied. They don't want that. They want it to be the same silhouette, but not the same profile. So it's an interesting process. And of course, they don't want you to replace windows. Absolutely have to. If they're falling apart and rotting, they'll allow that, but it has to be documented and assessed.
And is the credit good for only 1 year?
No, it can roll over to multiple years if you don't have a high enough. I don't know. I don't know how the tax side works. That's much more detailed for like the CPA side.
I know Anissa spoke with me about this a little bit. And, the cost for paying, was Chris Moen the one that was going to do the plan?
Yep,
And
she's doing the assessment. She's doing the write-up. I'm doing the drawings.
okay. She was going to write this up, and I guess there would be a lot of expense going to Chris,
Yes.
which if it's only for 1 year for that tax credit, she was concerned it may not be financially feasible or
I think she talked about that and found out that it can be rolled over.
okay. So possibly can roll over. Is that only if that construction continues for more than 1 year, or?
I don't know the
Okay,
details.
so we'll have to find that out.
Yeah. And then I think you have to maintain it as the way you've said you're going to maintain it for at least 5 years. And if you change something drastically within those 5 years, they can take it away from you.
It's probably coming off the income because you've got to be making income there, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's coming off the income that you make from the building or from your personal income. I don't know how that
Wow.
works.
Okay.
Because it's income producing.
Brenda.
They have this whole chart, and I'm very glad Chris is involved because she's done it a million times before, and she has spreadsheets. And so when it comes to the money side of it, you have to show like how many jobs you're going to create by your project, and so the state and the federal, it's worth it to them because they're generating income for the community and they're generating jobs. So that's why it's a good program for overall. So for her, I mean, for a really, really small project, like this is not really generating a whole lot of jobs, but you know, you can see for how like a our permanent building or commercial block, it would generate a few extra jobs and permanent and temporaries and construction. So,
Any other
question?
questions for Heidi?
I'm getting into the weeds of it with, I'm learning a lot from Chris. So I'm very glad she's
Good.
able to help us out.
Thank you.
John, can I ask a question or do I have to?
Yeah. Maybe you should come up here, Jan.
Jan Nat, 504 South Main. So I am going to be replacing the porch floor on my historic home. I did it 7 years ago, and the materials are rotting out already. And is this a project that would qualify for?
Wait, you don't have an income producing house, do you? Or do you?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Yeah.
We can find out, but for just replacing the
Right.
floors,
Yes.
which I'm sure.
It's a major process to go through all this, so I don't think it would be worth it for just
Okay. That's
just personally, just my
yeah.
personal opinion.
So you'd have to have a consultant, and you have to have
You don't have
architectural
to.
drawings,
But I mean, I think it's more geared towar's
bigger
spending
projects.
tons of money, and millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars at least.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm assuming your porch is only not gonna cost
It's probably going to be a $10,000 project, but
There are probably
I'd
other
like
kinds-
some help.
Sure, no, I'm sure there are other kinds of grants, but I don't know that this was the
Okay.
I would just
focus
say,
of that. Because when you apply now, and you don't find out until December, and you can't start any construction until they approve it.
Okay.
Because if you do something that they ended up don't liking, or you,
Sure.
then it's your turn. It's supposed to be to help people who won't do the project unless they have money. for it. So that's why they're like, they assume you can't start until you have their money in hand.
Okay.
Probably just for tax purpose, it'd be just as an expense off of your income
Yeah,
for
just to do it directly as an expense.
only get
Yeah.
20% or 25%, but compared
Yeah,
to this,
right.
but the tax
Which
credit
is-
is a bit better.
Well, it's just
but-
only 20% anyway.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Should I have other questions. Should I continue with those? Or
Yes.
are you at
Let's
the end?
just go ahead
The
while
end of
you're
your
there.
agenda? Okay. Rose Drain was not able to be here today, but she asked me to question if anyone knew what was happening with the Huntington Bank building.
Which one?
The one on the South Main.
We need Heather back. Do you have any background on the bank building?
The old Huntington Bank building.
No, I have no knowledge of anything with that building at this time.
Okay. Isn't there some
it-
construction going on there right now?
There is.
I thought that there was, that we discussed that in May, that there was something happening, but no?
Well, the mayor promised me that the new owner had big plans for what was going to happen with some housing upstairs and some business downstairs, but that was a year ago.
Okay.
And nothing has happened. And
Okay.
yeah, I think that's a concern, and we don't have that information.
I'm right across the street, and I have not seen any construction. So unless
Okay.
it's behind, I mean, but yeah, I haven't seen anything.
Okay.
Okay, so
All right. I'll just report that no one really knows what's going on.
and maybe we can. I can find out. I can try.
Okay. In regards to the conference that's coming up, I hope we can all go as a contingency. I did offer, if anybody is going to spend the night, the Stan Hewitt property in nearby Akron is a wonderful place to visit if you have not been there. It's a huge mansion. It's got the original furnishings. They do wonderful tours. The gardens are fabulous. And it is historic because that is where AA began, with a group of women who were concerned about their gardener who was drinking too much and ruining the family. So it's really got an interesting history. As long as we're that close, it might be kind of fun to
Yeah.
spend the night and go see that if anybody can get away. So I wanted to offer that as an invitation. Also, on Tuesday of the conference, you're planning on going on Wednesday? On Tuesday, it's all about the historic theaters and preservation and how to make them work. And it seems to me that we really ought to be looking into that with the Clazel Theater and seeing what's happening with that. I feel like we've had a long, hot, lethargic summer, and we've missed a couple of meetings, and I've been traveling, but I really feel like with this fresh fall breeze, we need to get some of these initiatives moving again. And that would be a good way to do it. I asked Heather just briefly if there was any city funds that would help to fund any of the commission members to attend that. She said no. Does anyone have any interest in doing a tour at the Stan Hewitt?
Are you thinking on like Wednesday morning? Or
We could either do it,
Thursday morning?
yeah, if
The
you're
night
going to
after.
spend the night, then we could go there the next day, or that earlier that day, either way.
I can't commit for sure, but I would be, if it could be in the morning, and then I would need
On
to
the same
travel
day,
back. Yeah.
on Wednesday, yeah, okay.
I
Well,
probably won't go to the house because if I go, I'm going to go to the conference.
Okay,
And we should check with Dick Martin, of course, other members of our
right,
sign committee.
exactly.
So
I did send out an email, I think,
Yeah,
that
you
went to
responded,
everybody. So I wanted to let you know that I've been recently appointed to the Valentine Theater Board. And so I'm going to my second board meeting tomorrow, and I thought I would call to their attention about the conference. I don't know if they're aware of that or not, but they're really interested in promoting the historic aspects of the theater as well and expanding their audience base. They said that surveys show that I think 84% of people in Northwest Ohio have never stepped foot in the Valentine Theater, and it's a wonderful property.
Have we all been to
Yes.
the theater?
Probably.
Yes? Okay. You haven't? Oh,
No, I haven't.
I have season brochures in my car if anyone would like one. They have a great
it
great
is-
lineup.
it
Yes,
is
it's
beautiful.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. The new director, Haley, at the Downtown Business Association is very energetic. She has lots of great ideas. She'll be a great cheerleader for Bowling Green. She's interested in history. I think it would be really advantageous to invite her to do maybe a 15-minute presentation to this board so that we could forge a relationship with what she's doing. She spoke about the Clazel and the Corner Grill, both of those properties, about what we could do with those. So I think we should really see if we can get some
Good.
energy going there. What did I have about the Black Swan Festival? Oh, I think that's it from me. So I am going to visit the Lincoln House shortly after. Sean's going to meet me. I was out of town when they had the open house, so if anybody would like to tag along, we could probably take a quick walk through. So
Great.
going to do that immediately after. That's all.
Thanks, Jan.
Thanks.
With the permission from the commission, I think that inviting Haley would be great for next meeting.
Yes.
Would that be okay if I give her
Great idea.
a call and see if we can make that work for her calendar? I think it's a good idea, and it'd save us having to go downtown, which isn't too far, but it'd be nice to have her talk to all of us. Okay, so just to wrap up here, I'm going to just read the past and future workshops events. You have one more?
No, I was just gonna say we can read those just in the because of the time. But I just want to mention one thing that's not on there. It's for October. Is the library event at the PIC with This Old House host. There are tickets available, so you might want to get on that faster, sooner than later.
What was the date on that?
October 9th at 7 p.m.
And
If you go to the library website, you can find a link.
is that at the library or
It's at the
music-
PIC, the Performing Arts Center at the high school.
Okay. Let's go. Good. Thank you. Okay, so
Could I interrupt just for a
one
second?
more.
I need to get to a meeting in another town.
Okay.
And so I'm going to
Okay,
absent myself.
so we'll quickly continue without you,
Okay,
Jeff. We will
thanks.
miss you. Thank you. All right. So past workshops, events. Wood County District Public Library walking tour was June 7th. Library History Detectives was also in July. Museum First Fridays, Make It, Take It, Crafts, June 6th and 11th. July 11th, World War II Lecture Series, June 10 and July 8th. Poor Farm Palooza Fundraiser, June 11th through 18th. Music at the Museum, July 21st. Jeff House, who's leaving, just did a presentation, well, I don't know when it was, of the Exchange Club. That was back in May, right? Or I had a, okay.
I forget exactly.
Future workshops coming up. Wood County Public Library, Behind the Stacks, the history of the WCDPL. That will be on September 29th. Wood County Museum Living History Day, August 31. Free First Fridays, Make It, Take It crafts, September 5th. That's all at the Museum of Wood County. World War II Lecture Series, September 9. Music at the Museum, September 11. And then we talked already about the Halloween party at the Lincoln House, October 25th. So lots of historic things happening. That's all I have. Any other final comments? We don't have any other lobby people speaking today.
I was just going to mention that in Toledo, I went to the Preservation Assessment Workshop by the Heritage Ohio last month, and it was very informative, talking about masonry and upkeep of old buildings and stuff. So Heritage Ohio stuff has amazing.
Do they do that on a monthly basis?
No, I don't think so. This was just August 4th at a local library branch. A professor from the Building Preservation Restoration Program at Belmont College came, and he was just so engaging and informative about upkeep on houses and keeping water out, obviously, and maintaining masonry. And just, so it's very interesting and helpful.
Okay. Thank you, Heidi.
Yep.
All right. Do we have a suggestion for adjournment? Anybody want to?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Thank you very much.
Thanks, John.
Cheers.